But those are the kinds of things that can really change the trajectory of a child's life. And those are the kinds of things that I think represent true compassion. And I don't believe it's particularly compassionate when you just pat somebody on the head and say, "There it is, you poor little thing. I'm going to take care of your food, housing, give you adult life, I'm do all this stuff for you, and all you got to do is recognize that I'm the one, and make sure you vote for me." These kinds of things have not worked. And you look back to Lyndon Johnson and the Great Society program and the war on poverty. I used to think Lyndon Johnson was a great man until I heard his offhand remarks about black people. Then I didn't think he was such a great man after that. How you manipulate people and how you get their votes. But anyway, since that time, $19 trillion been spent to eliminate poverty. At least 19, some people say up to 30 trillion. And what have we gotten for it? 10 times more people on food stamps, more poverty, more welfare, more broken homes, more out of wedlock births, crime, you name it. Everything is not only worse, it's much worse. And intelligent people obviously stop and they think. And I think that's why God gave us these enormous brains. My mother was always telling me as a youngster, "Benjamin, you're much too smart to be bringing home these grades." I brought them home anyway. And she was constantly saying, that. And because she had only been able to cobble together at max a third grade through her 13 years of life before she got married and shuffled from home to home at work. But she always believed somehow that education. And she ended up praying to God that He would show her the way, and He did. And she looked at the homes where she was working, and they were nice homes. She said, these people, they don't spend all their time watching TV. And they read a lot. They seem to have friends. And so she came in and imposed that on us. And we were not at all happy about it. And her friends were critical of her. You can't make boys stay in the house reading books. They'll grow up and they'll hate you. And I used to overhear them, and I said, "Mother, they're right." But, it didn't matter. We had to do it anyway. But the thing was, as I started reading those books, something changed. I began to know things that other people didn't know. I began to read about incredible people. I read the book Up from Slavery, Booker T. Washington. Illegal for slaves to be educated and to learn how to read. And yet he taught himself to read, read everything in sight, became an advisor to two countries. Those stories had a profound effect on me. Just as a sidebar, think about it. Why was it illegal to educate? And yet we have so many people today. Those doors have been opened for them with blood, sweat, and tears, and they don't even take advantage of it. Recognizing that what that actually does is it enslaves you voluntarily when you don't have to be. Because how could you possibly solve any problem? Well, that's propaganda that's put forth by the political class and want you to think they're the only ones who have good judgment, the only ones who can solve problems. But without mentioning any names, I can tell you that there are people in this country who have been United States senators and Secretary of State who have been in politics for years who don't even have enough judgment to know that if you have a private server that you are putting those things out in a way that could jeopardize your whole country. And if years of political experience doesn't teach you that, maybe years of political experience is not with you. Just saying. So, we really have to start thinking, using that intellect to ask ourselves another question. How do we stimulate our economy? We're the possessors of the most powerful and dynamic economic engine the world has ever known. And yet, it is sluggish. It is doing virtually nothing these days. Look at our growth rate. From 1850 into 2000, our economic growth rate averaged 3.3%. From 2001 to 2014, it's averaged 1.8%. That's a pretty dramatic fall. And now we're looking at negative numbers. This is not a good situation. And we have to find a way to reverse that trend in a big way in the near future. Let me just tell you the implication of that. Over a 20-year span, if you grow an economy at 3.3%, you're talking about a $35 trillion economy. And if you grow it at 1.8%, you're talking about a $26 trillion economy. 35, 26 trillion dollars. When you want to talk about unfunded liabilities, there's the difference right there. So it's important that we get that economic engine going again. Now, one of the things that I would propose to do to get it moving quickly is recognize that overseas we have over $2 trillion in American money. Why is it sitting there? Because we have the highest corporate tax rate in the developed world. So why would anybody bring it back here? I've sat around the corporate board table many an afternoon at Kellogg or Costco talking about what are we going to do with these billions of dollars overseas since we can't bring them back here. Well, what I would propose doing is declaring a 6-month tax holiday to allow that money to be repatriated back into America. And the only requirement would be that 10% of it has to be derived for jobs, for unemployed people and people on welfare. You want to talk about a stimulus plan that doesn't cost the American taxpayer one penny. That would be it. That would be a tremendous jumpstart, but it also helps to get the corporations of America in the mindset of investing in their community, investing in people around them. Because I really believe that that's the thing that will help make America great again. When business, industry, academia, Wall Street, churches, community groups, once again, think about how do they invest in the people around them. One of the reasons that that is so crucial is because we only have 300 real equality and justice for everybody. Now let's just open it up.
Yes. With this new uprising in Ferguson and the fact that a police officer is 22 times more likely to mistakenly shoot a black person because he mistakenly believes that person has a gun than a white person. How would you deal with that implicit bias that seems to be a big factor in our criminal justice system? It seems to be a big factor in our, and you talk about wealth, it seems to be a big factor in the wealth creation as well. So.
Okay. Well, first of all, recognize that police officers are fearful and the community is fearful. And what causes prejudice? Ignorance is what causes prejudice. People have these ideas about other people, and it leads to a lot of conflict. What I think needs to be done is we need to integrate police into the community. They need to be a part of the community. And all the little kids should know the police officers in their community. Because then it's somebody you know. It's your friend. And also the police officers get to know the people there. And they're not fearful of it. And when you're not fearful of somebody, your reaction is completely different to what's going on. I think that's really the solution. I don't think you'll never find a solution by everybody pointing fingers at you. I do think the video cameras are a good idea. It's not a 100% solution. I think a much better solution is relationships. And that's the case with working with relationships.
Thank you, Dr. Carson, for coming. I'm Jolinda Ruth Cogan, former Republican district leader here, and business person. Medical question. Obamacare. Before Obamacare, went to the doctor, was able to talk to my doctor a half hour, having a good time, how's your child, so on and so forth. Now, I got 10 minutes maybe, 7 minutes, I have to write down what I'm going to say.
And they're not even looking at you.
Exactly. And that's because I 6 months to get an appointment, but since I was already there, I'm able, and the people know me, I'm able to get in. So how would you fix it? And oh, by the way, I'm American, so what? I got to get online. First, you got to get online. How would you fix it?
Okay. First of all, recognize that I do want people to have good health care. I was in the airport, and a black lady came and sat next to me. She said, Dr. Carson, I love the things you say. They make a lot of sense. But why don't you want poor people to have health care? I said, you've been listening to the propaganda. I want them to have excellent care. But the reason that I have been adamantly opposed to the so-called Affordable Health Care Act is because it's antithetical to the principles of America. America was founded of, for, and by the people. The government is there to facilitate life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. With Obamacare, they came along and said, we don't care what you people think. It doesn't matter. This is what we're doing. If you don't like it, tough. Well, that really is a complete turnaround. And if you accept that, it's just the beginning of a turnaround. That's why I'm so against it. I'm not against people having good health care, and that's why I've authored a different proposal, starting with health savings accounts for everybody, starting at birth until death, at which time you can pass it on to a family member. We pay for it with the very same dollars that we pay for health care now, so we don't have to use it now. And you give people the ability to shift money within their family. So, you're $500 short, your husband can get you out here, or a daughter, or a cousin, or an uncle, or anybody. It gives you enormous flexibility. There's no middleman. Every family essentially becomes their own healthcare organization, their own insurance company. Plus, it makes you care about the other people in the family. If Uncle Joe is smoking like a chimney, everybody's going to be hiding a cigarette. So, we need to get people involved with each other again. But also, the cost of your catastrophic health care is now going to plummet. Because the only thing coming out of it is catastrophic health care. Not every little thing. And therefore, goes down dramatically. Plus, you make it possible to buy it across state lines, drives it down even further. So, but the only problem is that only takes care of about 75% of our people. It doesn't take care of the indigent. So what are we going to do about them? Well, how do we take care of them now? Medicaid. What's the annual Medicaid budget? $400 to $500 billion a year. How many people participate? A quarter of the population, which is way too many, by the way, but that's how many it is. About 80 million people. 80 million into 400 billion goes 5,000 times. $5,000 every man, woman, and child on Medicaid. That's how much is allocated. What could you buy with that? A concierge boutique practice. $2,000 to $3,000 a year. Put them all in the boutique practice. And still have thousands left over to buy catastrophic health care, which is much cheaper now. Now, I'm not advocating we do that. I'm saying that's how much money there would be. And if we use that in a responsible way, can you imagine the kind of health care that we can provide for them? And they won't be second-class citizens. that if we give them a health savings account, they go to anybody just like anybody else can go to anybody, and it's not being detrimental to the practice that they're going through as a result. That's the kind of thing you need to do. Now, some people in Washington said that won't work because you can't give poor people a health savings account because they're stupid and they won't know how to use it. Well, didn't they say that about food stamps? They said you give them food stamps and let them control it. They'll go out and buy $4 steak the first 5 days, and then they'll be on the corner and they have people do. Is that what happened? Of course not. They learn how to use it. They learn how to use the health savings account too. And now, when Mr. Jones has that diabetic foot ulcer, instead of going to the emergency room where it costs 5 times more, they're going to go to the clinic. And of course, in the clinic, instead of just sending them out like you do in the emergency room, they say, let's get your diabetes under control. So you're not back here in 3 weeks with another problem. A whole nother level of savings, which we are not realizing right now. Plus, we're teaching Mr. Jones personal responsibility in healthcare. And that's what we want. We want to teach people to be responsible, not how to be defensive.
First and foremost, I haven't heard anything that has not intrigued my resurgent sensibilities, and I thank you for that. Here in Harlem, I do adverse student, and in your speaking, I heard you talk a bit about education. So, twofold question. Recognizing that we have a growing population that's unemployable, that's underemployed, like the Latinos, because of criminal records and poor education system. How will you address those two things?
Okay. Well, first of all, school choice, I think, is critical. And if that requires a voucher program, then so be it. But we have to give people the ability to move. And you've seen on television, when charter schools open and there's opportunities for them to show the lines of people trying to get their kids in. We have to make those opportunities available because that's the only thing that's going to force the improvement of the public school system. And like I said before, education is the great divide. And unless we can provide it to our people, they're going to continue to languish. And we need to recognize that that's a problem for us and the society. Because again, we only have 330 million people. We have to develop all of them to the extent that we need them. We also need to understand, one of the programs that has disappeared in our high schools are the kinds of programs, vocational programs that lead to plumbers and electricians. I gotta tell you, those people make a lot more money than a lot of people who go to college. And also, it's much more sophisticated now. I mean, you look and see what these guys do. They're doing computer programs, doing all kinds of stuff. So, we need to make those kinds of educational opportunities available. Once again, people, and I think that will solve a lot of those problems.
Thank you. So we'll take one more question.
Okay.
You had talked about the hip hop community and how the hip hop community is damaging young people. Can you gravel that? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, my main concern about the hip hop community is the way that they denigrate women. And some of the things that they glamorize, free sex and drugs, and we got enough stuff without having that kind of thing being glamorized. So I guess it goes back to my old conservative belief because I look at things like the out of wedlock birth rate in the black community. 73% of the babies being born out of wedlock. When that first baby happens, usually that woman's education sucks. Right there, dead in the track. And then that kid has 4 times at least the likelihood of growing up in poverty. Much more likely to end up in the welfare system and the penal system. So to just give this a pass is not reasonable as far as I'm concerned. And that's why I talk about it. Even though it's supposed to be politically incorrect, even though every lifestyle is supposed to be the same, even though there's not supposed to be any right and wrong, even though you're not supposed to pass judgment on what's going on. Give me a break. That's a bunch of crap. And we need to begin to talk about these things because, particularly in the black community, what was the thing that got the black community slavery and through Jim Crow and through segregation and through countless horrible things. The faith and the family. Okay? And if we allow those to be destroyed, you will see exactly what's going on. Yeah, I mean, this is not right. And we have to begin to talk about it and not let the politically correct left wings convince you that this is okay and that anybody who says anything against this is an Uncle Tom and is a horrible person and should be rejected outright. All they're doing is trying to gather votes. And while I talk about that, let me just mention this one thing. This voter ID thing. This is crap. You know, I have been to so many countries. In every country that I go to, I make it a point to ask them, do they require some form of formal voter ID? I have not found a single one that does. So, are we the only country in the world that's racist and prejudiced because we require? It is total crap. Don't believe it. All right.
Best president that I have not identified earlier in my
Dr. Ben Carson's Harlem walking tour here on 125th Street.
Pastor Jack.
What are your thoughts?
I have thoughts.
All right.
Staples, read wide.
Harris Commentary. Where are we?
Man, we're out here. We're walking through the streets of Harlem, Spanish Harlem in New York City. We got Dr. Ben Carson right here in front of us.
We just had a great meeting here with everybody in Harlem. We're walking through. As people are ecstatic watching here as we stand here in Harlem. The place is turned. We have a new Whole Foods going in right there. Harlem's not the same place it used to be. We have Fox, CNN, and everybody here all at the same time. Spike Lee just walked past. And this is the corner we have where Malcolm X made all this stuff. Malcolm X corner.
And he's a bracer.
And he doesn't want to be a politician.
And he doesn't want to be a politician. Thank God for that. Amen.
Awesome. Should we go back on this side? Absolutely.
Here we go. We're live on Periscope. You want to say something? You're live.
Dr. Carson is what we need for America. He's what we need right now. Right now, get behind Dr. Carson and this message of common sense government, small government. Right now, we need to get behind this message. It's important. It's urgent for America right now.
Okay. You're hearing it live.
Okay. Was she here today? You answered all of her questions. Yes. Okay. You answered all of her. She didn't even have any questions after you finished.
You guys take a second. We're on Periscope. Can you tell our fans what we just experienced? This is John that hosted our lunch for us. And Dr. Carson, what do you think about Harlem now?
Well, I'll tell you, it's been absolutely spectacular having a chance to come here, seeing there's a lot of good development that is going on here, and a lot of good people that I have met here. And you know, we need to understand that all Americans really want the same thing. They want an opportunity to have a successful life. They want to be part of the fabric of the American dream. They don't want to be dependent. And as soon as we recognize that when we do the things that develop all of our people, we become much stronger as a nation.
Thank you, Dr. Carson. We're coming live.